皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So guys, this is something I'd like to hear your opinions about. It's actually something that when I was filming with Seki Sensei for Let's Ask Seki Sensei, this was a discussion when we were filming the shorts. But to jump into the main topic right away, if you ever have trained in Iaido, if you've ever seen my videos related to Iaido, you might know about the concept of shaking the blood off the sword after a kata. A kata is a fixed exercise that you do with the swords, just like karate katas or kendo katas, so on and so forth. And in the Iaido, with the katana techniques, at the end of each kata, there are usually, before you sheath the katana, there's some form of shaking the blood off your sword, and I'm pretty sure that you know that this is called chiburi. So this is the blood shake. It literally means, or it's basically to shake off, to swing off the blood on your blade. Now, strictly speaking, does that actually work? The answer is probably no. A lot of people do say that it's just simply a different form of zanshin. Zanshin means to leave the heart. So basically, it's a form for you to be cautious for another attack, just in case. Even after you win, you don't let go of your consciousness focus, basically. And that is called zanshin. Or I've seen in different theories that I made about this in the shorts before, like an year ago, I think, that the chiburi, the blood shake, is actually a really good form for checking the mekugi, the bamboo pin on the handles, the quality or the condition of it, if you can continue to use it or not, and so on and so forth. But anyways, the main topic here is the word chiburi here. When I was talking with Seki Sensei, he mentioned in one of my shorts saying that chiburi is actually not the right term to refer to that action, that move. The right word is actually chiburui. You might have heard of this before, maybe from your senseis, for instructors, for example, or senpais if you're ever training in Iaido. So chiburi, the real term for chiburi is a different kanji character, but if you say chiburi, it's actually an action of cutting off a fish's head and hanging it to get rid of the blood inside the body so you can eat the meat fresh. And so chiburi originally refers to that, but basically chiburui is a little bit hard to say. Chiburui is hard to say, so it eventually turned into chiburi, and it turned into chiburi, basically. Language has changed like that, right? Yeah. So what he was saying, though, Seki Sensei was saying that originally it was called chiburui, but there's actually tons of instructor class people who say chiburi now, and that's originally not the right word. Now, this I personally feel is very similar to terms such as katana or geisha, And I really want to hear your opinions about this, by the way. But for example, if you say katana, now originally saying katana is a word that represents curved blades in Japanese. So it doesn't mean that's just the swords in Japan, but any other sword outside of Japan. If you call it a katana, it means it's just simply a curved blade. Now, if you want to refer to blades that are made in Japan, Japanese swords, you have to call it nihonto. But even if you watch historical dramas, for example, there are tons of scenes where people just call their uchikatana or their wakizashi a katana and not calling it nihonto, for example, and so on and so forth. The geisha word I just mentioned, geisha is actually a word that represents the women entertainers in the Kanto area, which means the Tokyo area, in Edo and so on and so forth. In Kyoto, where their culture originally started, they were called geiko. They're called geiko. However, these two terms, katana and geisha, they're actually more popular overseas. Like, for example, if I tell someone, do you know what a geiko is? Versus, do you know what a geisha is? I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be like, what the heck is a geiko? I've never heard of that term before, because it's only used in Kyoto, and everywhere else we say geisha. And even in the movies, for example, or dramas or novels and so on and so forth, which are based in Kyoto, people tend to call them geisha. But actually, when I was doing interpretation for a geiko event once before, and I obviously know that it's called geiko and maiko in Kyoto, and outside of Kyoto, it's called geisha and hangyoku, by the way. The trainees and the fully trained entertainers are called different names. And I knew that. And I knew that, but as a professional interpreter, I wanted to use the word geisha because I know that many people will not understand what geiko is, and I would have to explain what a geiko is in advance for the audience to understand what it is. But when I use the word geisha, the people who are, running the houses where the geiko and the maiko live got really, really angry at me, for using the wrong term. And here it is. Here is the question I wanted to ask you. I personally feel, as a person who speaks 3 languages, well, Chinese might not be as fluent as the 2 other languages, and English might have a lot of flaws, but still I do, can get what should I say, get by with these 3 languages, And also I am right now studying to become a Japanese language instructor, which means I will eventually become a professional in the field of teaching languages too. Now, from this standing point, I personally feel, please let me know your opinions, guys. I personally feel that language is something that is supposed to change and is supposed to evolve and change and adapt to that generation. And I completely understand that just making tons of slangs and everyone using it is, of course, not always a good thing. Yeah, I completely understand that, of course. There is beauty in linguistics, of course, and each language has a beautiful form and a more polite form, for example. And I'm not sitting here to tell you that we don't need any of that. I'm trying to say that if a language gradually starts to change, I understand that we need to, of course, discuss about it maybe. We need to take the time to do it, but I think we should change. Because I was taking a memo of this podcast right now to talk about this, and I tried to put in chiburui in Japanese, and I couldn't even find the kanji character to it on my smartphone. It means no one says chiburui anymore, but once I look up chiburi, it comes out right away. In the katana kanji characters, by the way, not the fish one. Yeah. So it means chiburi is now more widely accepted. Then can't we just call it chiburi? I personally feel like, if geisha is more, widely known outside of Kyoto, outside of Japan, can't we just call them geisha for now? Basically we are referring to the same thing, we just calling them different names. Now, if you have, maybe especially for Kyoto and the geiko and geisha stuff, maybe they have a lot of pride in their names. I understand that, but I personally feel that language is a tool. Language is a tool for communication, and its top priority is to let the people who are listening to you or reading your sentences understand what you're trying to say. And I personally feel saying that no, this is not the right way. This is the right way to understand it, and forcing almost your ego against other people and forcing them to understand a word that they don't and they're not familiar with isn't very nice. It's not very kind. I personally feel it's just like you're pushing against your own values against other people. And of course, if you're patient enough to try to calm down and explain how these terms are different, and if that is going to become a new form of communication, if you can for example, find a friend who does the Iaido and go up to him, and if you can enjoy the conversation of, did you know, chiburi was actually originally called chiburui, so I actually used the word chiburi instead of chiburi, and your friend or whoever it is like, oh, that's really interesting that I actually want to use the word chiburi too, if that's more traditional, then that's great. But I'm pretty sure by now you understand what I mean, because I'm repeating myself many, many times now, but you get what I mean. Yeah, so again, please let me know your opinions in the comments. Please feel free to go against my ideas and beliefs. That's completely okay, and I love exchanging ideas with you guys. So please let me know your opinions. I personally feel, again, terms are okay to change because it has through history many, many times, and I personally feel being scolded or being criticized for using a word, I mean, if it's completely new and if it's only you using it, it's a problem, but about 80% of the people, if they use it, I'm pretty sure it is about time for the language to change. But anyways, please let me know your opinions. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to study, travel, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems, we are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I'm going to try to solve social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a brighter future. And to do this, the nearest goal I have right now is to make the Yushinkan Summer Experience a big success. And before that, actually, by the time you're listening to this, I'm pretty sure it's already started, the Let's Ask Seki Sensei channel. Yes, its goal is to achieve 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. So it'd be great if you could help us out. We'd be absolutely be able to do so much more. And if you can help me to do this, it's going to be a great beginning, great start for so many other things. Because if I can, get these results and tell more people, I might be able to do a new channel with Kamina Daisuke for Walk Band and so many other people, and meet the possibilities of me in the future is going to be great. It's going to be there's going to be so many things that I can do. So it'd be great if you can continue to support me, guys. Anyways, I'll be waiting for your comments, and please have a nice day or good night. Bye-bye.